Absolutely.
So here in front of the gate, the German overseers stripped themselves of their clothing, and in their little bag they had, it was warm, it was the beginning of July, the end of May, and that's when I was put into the, that I had, I call this, no, mentioned some sicknesses.
Oh, typhoid?
Typhoid. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you remember the day you were brought into Auschwitz?
I could look it up.
Oh no, not the actual date. I mean, do you remember the circumstance? Do you remember?
Oh God, yes.
Tell me about that.
In the wagon itself, we had to leave all the belongings and just walk the way we walk, with no suitcase, nothing. You being brought into a very big hall. In the hall is a narrow kind of a, how would you say that? Like a 3x4
Like a bench or a table?
and then like a small bench, a long bench. You had to spread your legs. They shaved you downstairs under the arm and everywhere that you had hair, and then they washed you off with petroleum, which burnt. And somebody was laying on the bench backwards, and they went up and did that like that. And the reason was the Germans are very scared of infection, and that was the reason. Now, as we undressed, we went into another room, and there we got the quote clothing. What did we get? No underwear. It was a regular kind of a dress or shirt and whatever they had. And you had to line up, you get your thing, and you go. And then you go into a room that they appoint to you. And if you were in Auschwitz, then you saw it. There were bunk beds built, and in each one of the squares, there were 7 people.
Wow.
And that was quite hard. So when we lay, and we were tired of laying on one side, the person in the front has to say, now. And they say, hey, Rup. And all of us turned this way. In a few minutes, all of us turned this way. So we could kind of eliminate the pain that we have from laying.
Sure.
Okay. Going to the toilet, you went in the morning and you went in the afternoon, quote, evening. If you had to go in between, there was a pail in the back, and you were praying the pail shouldn't be full, you know. But it was talking about the story of my father. My daddy went, and all of a sudden he hears a noise of a guy, and he gets closer to the latrine. You know, this is where you go. And he hears this noise, and it's his friend. And he already fell into that dirt. The German saw that my daddy wants to help him and really beat him up very badly. And as he walked out from there, another man who had a bigger position there. Mr. Birnbaum was his name. And he helped my father wash up and put him into another working row that wound up working in another city.
Oh,
And that was my daddy's help that came across.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So your daily life
Yeah.
in Auschwitz was difficult, to say the least.
Yes.
What-
Thank God it was very short.
How long was it?
I think 4 or 5 days.
Oh, so you were only in Auschwitz for 4 or 5 days before?
And the day before, that's when they stopped tattooing.
Oh, the day before was what?
They stopped tattooing, putting numbers in.
So you did not.
I have a number,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have it tattooed in.
Wow. Let's discuss what the mentality was. I mean, because you got there late.
Right.
As
Right after there, I was next to the last transport that came to Auschwitz. 2 months later, or even less than that, Auschwitz was liberated.
So you were there, and what did you feel?
I was there too late.
Yeah, I think you were there just in the nick of time. It seems like, because you were there and then out.
Right.
Was there a growing fear, or did you feel a fear of the German soldiers that things
No,
were falling
of the
apart?
16-year-old boys who walked with the bayonets,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with the knives and whatever they had. They were 16 years old and they were watching us.
Wow. So the soldiers that were keeping an eye on you were boys.
Absolutely.
Did they feel a sense of the end of the war coming?
They were so proud that they can show off that they are, that they have to take care of people who probably have to suffer of something. They were happy.
So they enjoyed that. They were
Given a job. My God.
sure,
You know?
and as the war was closing in on them,
Right.
did you sense a feeling of that they knew that things were not going well for the German army, for the German?
I didn't realize it.
Okay.
I had no newspaper. I had no
Sure.
radio. I had
All you
nothing.
knew was.
Right. But once they undressed,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like a few hundred feet away from the gate of Theresienstadt, when they undressed and put clothing,
It's 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, and that's what happened, that you got scared and a little bit.
Sure, oh, absolutely. So, give me a quick rundown of what those. I know it's only 4 days, but what was your day like? Would they come wake you
No
up?
work. No work. We had to just be on those barracks, on those beds. We got not one blanket each, but we got a blanket for us on the bottom and a blanket on top.
Wow.
And
One blanket for 7 people.
well, it was horrible. Then talking about food, we got fed 3 times a day, and what it was bread and the soup was made out of powder, and that was cabbage powder. It's no good.
It doesn't sound good.